Shalom, brothers and sisters. It's your brother Yahweh Sabah. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai. Peace, salutation to the hopeful elect scattered abroad across the four corners of the earth, learning or teaching this gospel in truth and sincerity. Shalom. Today I want to get into how a woman can't teach, man. Let's get into Sirach chapter 25, verse 24. And the woman became the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. And we know we've seen this happen in the garden, man. The serpent, Satan deceived Eve, man. So that's why, and then Adam followed. And a perfect example how, many have perished for women. We've seen it happen to Solomon and David as well. Yahweh Radazah could get a little more edifying lesson on that as well. It even happened to Samson, Yahweh Radazah get that lesson, but let's just get this one. Yahweh Radazah is edifying. Yeah, God. That's why a man shouldn't be listening to a woman that's teaching, because that's going to be your leading to your death, man. And that's why also that's going into how like the man should be only the one teaching, because if not, the woman could lead you astray, and she's gonna be on that path to destruction as well. The blood's gonna be on her hands. Because a woman shouldn't be doing this. This is not the way to go for women. So this is 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 40. Let all things be done decently and in order. So the woman should stop trying to teach the doctrine that she learned from a man. She should be, as we follow our forefathers, they should be following their foremothers and be like them, like Rebecca, Deborah, Ruth, and Esther. Just some examples that they should be like, because everything was written was for foretime for our learning. And they shouldn't be following off their own vain opinion and leaning onto their own understanding. Everything's supposed to be done decently and in order. Like how it said, let all things be done decently and in order. Because everything that in this world is out of order. Yahweh is not the author of confusion, as the scriptures say. And this Babylon is confusion. So that's why they like to be like turn everything upside down. Also, as the scriptures say, that's what they like to do. So 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is a Mashiach, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Hamashiach is Yahweh. So yeah, this is the order. Yahweh Shai, then man, then woman, and then the children if they have kids. Which, so Khan, this is the order that is set. Every head of the woman is the man. And teaching the wrong thing is not good that the woman should be doing this, and she shouldn't be teaching, period. Because we see a lot of women do this, like the first ladies in the churches, and also if the man pastor is not there, then the woman comes and takes over, and people have came at me about this too, saying that they got women in the church teaching, so that's why they're okay with it, and they believe it. So let's get into that. 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 11. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. Yeah, so they're supposed to be learning in silence with subjection. Verse 12, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. So yeah, that's what the woman is supposed to be, in silence. They're not supposed to, they're supposed to learn in silence with subjection towards their man, like I was saying. And being in silence, it doesn't mean not to never speak. It means like when the church is speaking, that they're supposed to follow the subjection, because this is the order, that the man has the authority, which is in righteousness of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, because we will walk as he ought to walk. And this Yahweh Shai never told a woman to go and teach. So that's how also that a woman is not supposed to be teaching. And he told his disciples to go teach, like in Matthew chapter 28. and baptize them in the name, roughly paraphrasing. So Khan, yeah, like this is just going into this because this is important that women know this, because we see it a lot today. Women teaching on Instagram, YouTube, or and then, like I said, in the churches. So because the woman is not supposed to be breaking down the precepts and not supposed to be going into that with other women or men, and so Khan, like I said, yeah, they're supposed to be in silence. So verse 13, for Adam was first formed, then Eve. Khan, because we know this story. This is going into the garden, like I was saying earlier. And then verse 14, and Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. Khan, because Adam, he didn't gird his loins, and he listened to the woman. And that's why I said, like, many men have erred for women, and this is a great example, roughly paraphrasing it, like how I was saying earlier. And Adam was the first example, and it happened. And this is all written for a learning for us, for a foretime for our learning, and to learn from this mistake. And it's all to fulfill Yahweh Shem Yahushai's prophecy as well. And it's, like I said, it's Yahweh's plan. But yeah, the woman was deceived by the serpent, by Satan, like I was saying. And she was going off trying to be a god. Nothing new under the sun. Women continue to be like that. And what we need is women to be in the faith, and to be zealous in different areas, like in your role, like be a Proverbs 31 woman, and be zealous to your husband, and to your household, do your household duties, and Yahweh Shem Yahushua will continue to increase you while you're doing what he states in the Bible, what you're supposed to be doing. Because if she's not married, then she's getting her information from a man regardless. So why is she teaching? And you never see a woman teaching on the streets either, because she would get cut up, And that's why I'm just going into this, because you have to make it make sense, let the man do his job. So God, let's get into that Titus now, to show a good example of what the woman should be doing. I brought this out before in the other lesson, Yahweh Radazal, you watched it. So God, this is Titus chapter 2, and I'm going to start from the top. But speak, though, the things which become sound doctrine, that the aged men be sober, grave, temperate, sound in faith, in charity, and in patience. The aged women likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers, not given to much wine, teacher of good things, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, and to love their children. So we have to see, this is what we see, like this is what they're able to teach when it gets into this, like that's what I'm saying, like this is what they could teach, like that verse 4, what I just read, that's what they could teach. And in that love, that's a different love. That's that philandros, like I went into as well, and I re-uploaded with the brother Javiala, went into it as well too, just for more edification. Come, verse 5, to be discreet, to chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of God be not blasphemed. So we see it goes just more into what the woman can teach, like I was saying, Con. Yeah, so yeah, like this is what the woman would teach the young woman to do. So Con, like and this is what only a sister should be teaching the young women to do: to be sober, to love their husbands, children, to be discreet, and chaste, You know, if she's having trouble with these things and like not being obedient to her husband, teach her how to be submissive and to live wise and pure and to work in their homes, you know, to do good, you know, to be submissive to her husband. So she's on that straight and narrow, so she's not blaspheming Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, the word, you know. God, because this society is of the women of our nation is disobedient to husbands, you know, and this was all prophesied as well too. I'm gonna get that, bring that out. Book of Jeremiah, chapter 31, and verse 22. How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. And yeah, that's what we see. What was prophesied by Jeremiah, that women are put on a pedestal, you know, and this all goes to the curses as well, you know. It goes back to that, you know. You know, and this was prophesied, and this is what goes on today. It's nothing new under the sun, and that's why we have to set things in order, set your house in order, as the scriptures say. You know, men are the ones that are of the head that should be teaching only, not the women. This goes into it as well. This goes into men out of the world as well, putting their woman above them. You know, and that's why these women trying to teach, it's a lot of feminism that they're doing, because they think that they're being able to teach. It also shows masculinity, because only the men's supposed to teach. And like I said, sisters shouldn't be teaching on YouTube or Instagram, none of that. You know, you could be leading people astray on your doctrine if it's not the full truth. And so they're not supposed to teach, period. The doctrine that we teach is from Yahweh Shai, you know, that's from Yahweh. So that's why we're supposed to teach it, not the woman, because like I said, that's just confusion, and we can't have women be doing that. Everything has to be set and decently in order, like I was saying, you know, because this like I said, comes from Yahweh Shai, and from Yahweh, who you know, and Yahweh Shai is the mediator to the men. You know, so in truth and sincerity, we speak this word, and then it goes to the woman. So whatever Yahweh Shai tells us to do is what we do, and that's to set things in order. So the man teaching, that's how it's supposed to be, and the woman's supposed to be subject and silence, you know. Because there's no precept that gives a woman the authority to teach. You know, show me the precept if you have it, which you don't, because that's exactly my point. You know, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. You got your doctrine from a man, so let the man teach. Like I was saying. So let's get the book of Job. Job chapter 39, verse 16. She is hardened against her young ones as though they were not hers. Her labor is in vain without fear, because Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai had deprived her of wisdom, neither hath he imparted to her understanding. And yeah, that's what's going on with these women that nowadays out of the world and in Israel and the truth, that thinking they can teach. They have no understanding. Yeah, so you have no wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and it's nothing new under the sun. Because if you should know that you shouldn't be teaching, because then you would have that wisdom, knowledge, understanding to understand that, you know, and also that you should be to learn from your husband, to be silent and be subject to him, and when the church is speaking, play your role as in being quiet. You know, and into Titus chapter 2 as well, that I read. To teach to the younger sisters what to properly do if they're struggling in those certain particular situations. You know, that goes into that in that chapter. So So I want to get into that 1 Corinthians chapter 14. Since I was paraphrasing it, let's just get it and go down from it. For Yahweh Shem Shai is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints. Yeah, because Yahweh Shem Shai is not the author of confusion. Like I was saying, everything's supposed to be in decently and in order. From 1 Corinthians 11, we know the order. You know, the man was created for the woman. That's why it goes into my rib. You know, that's why it states that. So she should be submissive, man. And like I brought out as well, and we're going to get more into it right now. Let your women keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also said the law. So they're not supposed to be speaking in the churches, like I said. Continue on. And if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home, for it is a shame for the woman to speak in the church. Anything a woman asks, that if she has a question on the doctrine of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, she's supposed to ask a man, which is her husband, not just any man. Like I said, when it's a shame for a woman to speak in the church, it's talking about the congregation of men that is giving out this doctrine, and she's not supposed to be giving her feedback with precepts and breakdowns, because it's gonna make her look out of it. You're out of order, because that's not her staying in her lot. And when you go into 1 Timothy chapter 6, it says be content. That's going into, like, when you click on the Hebrew on that, it's going into being content with your lot, man. We all have different lots, but we have to know that we're supposed to fulfill them, and for a woman to teach, that's not her lot, because she has to understand that, because the daughters of Zion, they have a lot of potential and intelligent inside of them, so they should know how to learn from a man and then keep it at that, because Yahweh set it up that way. It shouldn't be any different. Women shouldn't be going out trying to teach everybody, like I said, even on the streets, because she'll get confounded. So this is Ezekiel. This one, you got to be a man. So that's why I got to get into this, for us. Ezekiel chapter 34, verse 30. Thus shall they know that I am Yahweh Shem Yahushai, their God, and am with them, and that they, even the house of Israel, are my people, saith the Lord God. And ye, my flock, the flock of my pasture, are men, and I am your God, saith the Lord God. It tells you in the book of Isaiah as well, too, be a man, roughly paraphrasing, it says in book of Isaiah chapter 46, she's thy way to be a man, roughly paraphrasing, in the like in the book of Job, gird your loins. In the ancients times, they would gird their loins. That means they're about to do that laborious work, man. That means they're about to get active, man. And then that's what we got to do. You got to gird your loins, man. You got to sack up and be a man, because we're the flock of his pasture, like how I just read this precept, and it's men, and that's the order from old to new, man. Woman will not be teaching in the kingdom. It will be the men that have the laws that are the laws in their inward parts and in their hearts, man. In their mind. The elect, man. Women won't be teaching, man. And if anyone's saying that a woman is supposed to teach, every idle word, you're gonna get judged for that on Judgment Day. In the last day, like how the scriptures say, you shall be judged in the last day. And like how Yahushua said, man, because this is men. This is what we're supposed to be. This is how the order's always been. Get that as well. Line it up, because it even says in the book of Revelation. I read this before on the block too, but I want to get it out again. Revelation chapter 21, verse 3. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with him and be their God. Yeah, because his tabernacle of God is with men. That's why it was precept upon precept going into it. The flock of his pasture are men, man. Roughly paraphrasing what I just brought out. And you know, and the woman will be with the men at that time. You know, go to verse 2, because you know that Yahweh Shai is the bridegroom. You know, and he's coming back for his bride. You know, and I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. You know, and because that's like I said, that's the analogy what I just said. You know, that the men are prepared for the husband, which is Yahweh Shai. You know, this is used many times. Yahweh Shai is the bridegroom. You know, and Yahweh Shai is the bridegroom, and the elect are the bride adorned, and Yahweh Shai is coming back for his bride, the elect. You know, so the tabernacle of Yahweh is with men, like I was saying, and the women are only supposed to teach the sisters those things according to Titus 2, man. They're not supposed to teach doctrine or any of that. Only the men are supposed to do that. God. Like I was saying, the discreet, you know, it's discreet keepers at home and to love their husbands, and that's the plain, you know. You can't, no ifs, ands, or buts. You love it or hate it, you know. Come get with it or get lost, you know, because women are not supposed to be doing that. It's plain and simple, man, you know, because like, yeah, even also like when it goes into the judges, man, when you look back at it too, like when it says revile not thy gods, and you know, and thy judges, revile not thy gods and thy judges, roughly paraphrasing, you know, like it's going into that. Like any time when they had counsel with the elders, there was no women around, man, and that goes back to Moses as well, you know. Even in the wilderness, you know, there was no women in there, because the order of Yahweh is men, you know, and that's controlling the household, you know, is men, and because we have to keep things in order, man. You know, Yahweh Radazah, this is edifying, man. God. It's Matthew chapter 26 and verse 6. Now when Yahweh was in Bethany, house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head as he sat at meat. But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor. When Yahweh understood it, he said unto them, why trouble ye the woman? For she had wrought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. For in that she had poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this that this woman had done be told for a memorial of her. And with that, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Peace, salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad across the four corners of the earth, learning or teaching this gospel in truth and sincerity. Shalom.